Hello and welcome to the Life and Fight of a podcast. I am Jake Cross and I'm joined by my co-host as always, Simon Price. We're lucky enough to be joined today by showrunner, entrepreneur, the man of the moment, Mr. Black Belt, and Figure 4 and Grapple Fest owner, Chris Thompson. How's it going, Tomo?
All good, mate. All good. Good to speak to you.
So we're just literally talking off air then that you've just had surgery on your knee, is that right?
Yeah, I'm a left knee. Last Thursday, yeah.
How are you coping since the surgery?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was got me up walking on it in 24 hours. To give me a good amount of sort of painkillers and some blood thinners and stuff. Make sure there's no clots in there or anything like that. So I've just been sort of rehabbing really slowly, giving me some isometric exercises to do. So I've been obviously taking it easy,
How's the surgery different compared to like stuff you had back in England to Spain? Is there a difference?
It was sort of a private clinic where we did it. It was fantastic. They were great. I mean, I think a lot of surgeries got cancelled all over the world, didn't they? Sort of everywhere. And these are sort of back. And from me, actually, I mean, it's been bad for about 18 months, but it sort of popped again, went again. Locked out basically. I couldn't straighten my leg. So from that happening to getting in there, getting an MRI, and then actually physically going in and getting the surgery took less than 3 weeks. So I can't really moan at that in the slightest.
That's really good turnaround.
That NHS waiting list's about 18 months, isn't it? So
you would have had to tell him when the injury first happened just to get in now.
I know, yeah.
So obviously you've lived life in Spain for a little while now, and obviously when the lockdown hit, they've been the most strictest in the whole world. What was that like? Being confined for so long?
It was literally, it was madness. Honestly, we sort of couldn't get our heads around it really at the first few weeks, because you could not go out of your house unless to the supermarket or to the pharmacy. And if you went to the pharmacy, you had to have sort of a doctor's note or a prescription of some sort. There was just guard you on every roundabout, stopping you, pulling you over, asking for your ID. You get stopped, they'd want to see your receipts for your shopping and stuff like that to make sure you weren't blagging it. It was like that for about 6 weeks. You couldn't do anything at all. Then it started to get lifted a little bit, where you could travel, just for some, people who were working, things like that. But it was unbelievable. I mean, it wouldn't have happened in the UK. It wouldn't have happened. But I think obviously they've had, Franco wasn't too long ago over here, was it? And people seem to lock down. But there's a bit of unrest now because they didn't get helped out by the government like the guys in the UK. There's no furlough, 80%. Well, it's supposed to be a bit of furlough, but I think a lot of work over here is cash in hand, isn't it? Rather than sort of big contracts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think people started to struggle, but we seem to have opened up over here quite okay. I mean, bars and restaurants been open now for a few weeks. You can go out. I went out yesterday to went out for dinner with my wife yesterday, and then you can go out into restaurants. Pretty good. Everyone's sort of getting back to normal. So hopefully gyms are going to be open here. The state of alarm actually ends a week on Monday. Awesome. And then hopefully it's going to start getting back to normal then. Really hope so. With flights can start coming in from July, they reckon. So I think the world's opening up again slowly. It's been a long time though, and it's felt like a long time.
It has.
Fingers crossed it's quite a quick turnaround, and we can just get back to normal life really. Like, because I've been hearing the difference in sort of the mindset between sort of like the rest of Europe and the UK is sort of like, we will comply, we will sort of do what's asked of us because it means that our favourite restaurants, our favourite bars are going to be open. Whereas over here, it's kind of like, I'm not being told what to do.
Yeah, it sort of looked that way, didn't it? It's I mean, don't get me wrong. I wasn't really particularly being happy being told you've got to stay in your house and you can't go out, and that's it. It was weird for me because I've never had any restrictions like that sort of taken away from me by a government, and I don't think it's ever happened in anyone's sort of lifetime, really, has it?
No.
So it was a weird thing, but when people in the UK were talking about lockdown, I was just sort of laughing, just going, "You lot just aren't locked down at all. Everyone just wandering around, sort of doing what they want."
It was definitely lockdown light.
Yeah.
So with Spain and stuff, obviously you had an event planned for May 23rd. Oh, we lost him. You back?
Yep. So yeah, popped off then.
Yeah. So you had an event planned May 23rd. That was supposed to be the big America and European car that you were looking forward to. That sort of got completely thrown out the window because of everything. Just talk about, before we get onto the car that's happening in a few weeks' time, what sort of mindset were you in when it was leading up to it? Were you more trying to be defiant, thinking I'm going to put on this no matter what, and then it got to a point where thinking I physically can't even if I tried?
Yeah, I mean, luckily I got a show in Feb the 23rd. And I remember talking to a couple of guys who were coming over from Ireland, and there was things about it. People were talking about this coronavirus, but they hadn't really registered with anyone there. It wasn't like, I just thought it was going to be another sort of Ebola or, SARS or whatever, things like that have happened over the last decade, and not really affected us, have they? They've just been something that happened somewhere else, weren't they? So we got that show in, and then I got back, and then I had to travel back to just do some bits and pieces. And I was actually in the UK when it started to get really. I was only back for about 3 or 4 days, and it started to get a bit heavy. And then they were saying in Spain it could be getting locked down, like it's going like Italy, and the UK were like that. So I flew back. It was Friday the 13th of March, and then I flew back. And then basically they put the lockdown in the next day and said, right, that's it, shutting the borders, shutting everything down. So literally only just got home, luckily enough, because I would have been stuck. Sort of like they weren't letting anyone in. All they were doing was letting people who would say were English or, any countries, they were letting them out, but they weren't letting anyone in.
Wow.
So I sort of got stuck. So I sort of had a good thing that it was coming. I sort of thought this is going to affect, and I think like the UK is a couple of weeks behind, obviously being an island and further away from Europe, from Central Europe. So I sort of had an idea it was coming, to be honest with you, sort of way before. So after about a month or something, we sort of made the decision. I spoke to the guy at Third Coast as well, and they were in the same similar situation, to cancel some other events. And we just said, this could be pointless, because I don't want to start booking £500-600 flights for people to be, flying all over from America and being this, because I normally book the flights about a month or so out, or the guys normally book them and then we refund them however they want to do it. And I can't see anyone wanting to book their own flights at the moment and try and wait around for money to come back. So we just thought, let's just try and put it off to the end of the year. And sort of, yeah. So I got my head around it pretty quickly. Like I said, I think it was pretty much the fact that it wasn't like it was coming up in a month's time. I would have been struggling, thinking, yeah, I really want to get the show on. I'd literally just put a show on. I got back, all this sort of happened. So we decided, let's just sit back and see what happens. But yeah, we made the decision. It was the right decision, because obviously, nothing's been able to happen until very recently, has it?
No, I agree. We had UKFC on a week after you, so February 29th. Then we were sort of gearing up for March 28th for Empire. And then it got to like the 18th, and then there was, I think, I can't remember what show it was, but a grappling show happened. I think it was more down south on the 21st. I think it's like the Bedfordshire Open or something like that. And I was thinking, they've just had their event. Why can't I do mine? It's only 1 week, but that sort of 7 to 10 days span, everything just
it's kicking in the UK. I remember speaking to you. You messaged me, didn't you? And you were chatting. I remember talking to you, and I remember thinking, well, we're pushing it there. But like again, that was that thing of a couple of weeks behind. I think it kicked in the UK, didn't it? And you were right on the cusp of it, weren't you? Basically, I remember you having to cancel. Crazy.
Yeah. This has cost me so far. March 28th, May 23rd, we had UKFC the same day as you, and then June in Wales, and then July 25th in Leeds won't be happening. So I'm hoping it's back by September. I can start getting people in, because honestly,
I think so.
I'm bored.
Yeah, because I'm sort of booked to do a big show again, a proper event in sort of the first week of September. And I'm thinking, well, I hope to God that can go back as a proper event with a crowd and everything like that. Because surely it's got to be sort of I think it is petering out. People talk about this second wave, but I really think we're on top of it now. So I'm confident. I'm confident for September. Confident, yeah, mate. Everything crossed. Defo.
So let's just talk about how you got into this sport. We'll quickly just cover that, how you got into it, and sort of your journey up until sort of Grapple Fest was created.
Funny enough, I was living back in Spain then. Sort of 2005, I started living. I was living over here, and basically, I'd sold a business that I had, and I was sort of. It was a bit of boredom, really. I was doing weights and stuff in the gym and playing five-a-side and things like that. And I'd always watched the UFC on TV and stuff. And one gym I was in, looked in the back room, and they're all sort of rolling around in pajamas on the floor. And I was like, "Whoa!" It was one of those things, and I thought, "Oh, that's that stuff, isn't it? That's jiu-jitsu." So I had a little chat with the guy, that was it. And then next week I was in there training, and I literally basically never stopped. I didn't, you know, they had one session, that was it. I was one of those people who's just like, yeah, I've got the shit kicked out of me, and I was like, yeah, I like this. this is for me. And that was it. Then I started training.
It's like the common story that, you know, like amongst everyone sort of started the first session, they get their ass handed to them, and then they're sort of like, I need to learn how to do this.
Big time, mate. Properly got smashed. You know, it's how many times you hear that story of people. I think, especially back then. Nowadays, I think it's a little bit different for beginners class. It's a lot more gentler, isn't it? This wasn't just thrown straight in the mix, and it was like, you know, can you hack it or whatever? And you know, those guys just choking you out left, right, and centre, and you were just fresh meat for the other white belts and stuff like that. And you know, I was in shape, I was physical, I could look after myself, but I didn't have a clue what I was doing, so I was just getting battered basically. And yeah, that goes on for quite a while, doesn't it? And it's you just get better and better. And I always tell this story. I always say to like people have coaches as well, and I just say, can only ever remember one submission in the gym. All the others just know it, and it's the first one you get. And I remember just getting a big power guillotine, big juice guillotine, squeezing the lad's head off. He was as rubbish as me. Squeezed his head off, got this sub, and I was like, yeah. And that is literally the only one I can ever remember ever in the gym.
So, mine was a triangle. I just something that I was.
There you go. You remember it though, don't you?
Yeah, I was a bit taller than everyone else, bit of long legs, and I was thinking of catching it over and over again. I couldn't really catch anything else. I was thinking, I'm good at this. And then you start towards the higher belts, and you're like, no, these know how to defend now. Your legs start to get tired a bit faster. It's like, I need to change this game up.
That's it, isn't it? Funnily enough, guillotine is sort of pretty much, you know, what I've stayed with as well over the years. I always have a little theory. I've had it for years. I always try and say to people, say to my students, whereas I've one submission where I tap the neck, which I like the guillotine, and then one where I like to go for the armbar, and three where I get a leg lock. So then I've sort of got a submission everywhere on the body there. You get some people who specialise too much, so I always say to them, pick what you like. If it's a triangle, if it's an armbar, if it's a rear naked choke, you know, it's straight footlock, whatever it is, but try and look for something. So wherever we're grappling, you've got something you're good at, and you'll find that you'll transition to other stuff as well off those moves, I think. So yeah, funnily enough, my big juice squeeze guillotine has stayed with me.
Always the fun ones, them though, aren't they? No one expects it.
Oh mate, I'd like to think I've refined the technique a little bit more these days, but sometimes you still got to put that bit of bang in.
Oh, of course.
So when you started doing the super fights sort of around the Grapple Nation days, you were very, very heavy in the gi. You loved the gi. What mindset switched? Because obviously social media now there's a joke that you hate the gi, and then I think you made a comment about a month or two ago saying, just lift the lockdown, I'll start training gi again. What was the mindset switch between not completely moving away from the gi after being in it for so long?
Well, I wasn't, to be fair. I was always no gi. I was always training no gi, always training right through. I only started training, well, I did a bit of both in the beginning, but it was more simply because back then you could literally train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that was it. So I think it was Monday and Wednesday where I used to do in the morning. You just used to run 6 sessions a week, Monday mornings, Monday afternoons, Wednesday same, Friday same. So I think we only did like sort of 2 sessions, no gi out of those 6 sessions. So I had to do a bit of gi simply for that. And I got a blue belt in like 2018. But then I never wore the gi when I came back to the UK in sort of the end of 2008. I never wore it. So I just completely did no gi, and I was always did MMA and no gi and all that. And then I put it back on in 2014 or something like that, and then started, getting into the gi and sort of, having a go. And I wanted to go through the belt. Basically, I got a neck injury, and I was struggling with, no sort of no gi ever grabbing your head and neck all the time. So I came out of it, started the gi, and it was a lot easier on the body, I found, until a few years later, my fingers started hurting. But yeah, I sort of did that. And then the first super fight I ever got was on your show. You gave it me, which was a 20-minute gi match, which was horrendous.
Was it?
I literally could not bend. We were in the full 20 minutes, and I could not bend my fingers for about 3 days afterwards. It was terrible. I think it was purple at the time. 2015, I think it was.
Who was it again? Yeah, Dion
Bunning. Yeah. I was like 40 and he was about 28 and a pro MMA fighter.
He got signed to EFC when he went back home.
Yeah, he's back in South Africa, isn't he now? He's a nice fella, you know what I mean? I had a few good chats with him afterwards, yeah. We ended up doing a no-gi one as well about a year later, I think, and he caught me about 17, 18 minutes in with the guillotine. So, but I was badly injured, but we never make excuses, do we?
They were brutal then, 20 minutes. They were.
Oh, mate, horrendous. I remember having the plan of going, oh, what I'll do, I'll get stuck in. I trained dead hard for doing loads of rounds. I thought, I'll get stuck in. And after about 10 minutes, you should get tired and I'll take over then. And after about 10 minutes, I looked over my corner to Kev. And I think Kev shouted something like 8 or 9 minutes. And I was just looked at him and remember thinking, I'm fucked. That game plan ain't working.
Amazing. So, Grapple Fest. I sort of remember when we were talking when I did the original EGI over 3 years ago now. You were well into something needed to happen in the UK and Europe, something needed to be done, and then obviously I did EGI, which is a small thing. And then from there, Grapple Fest was born from Figure 4 Promotions. What made you just jump into it and go, fuck it, I'm doing it? What was the decision behind it, and where did it sort of all come from?
I really loved the grappling shows, you know, them rather than the tournaments. No, Meta Morris, I love that one. I loved EBI. And then Tanko did a great one in the UK. That, you know, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Your show, like I said, you did the smaller one there. Tanko sort of put the first big one on. There's Polaris, obviously, which was huge. I went to the first Polaris in 2015, something like that. I remember driving down, going watching it. I love those events rather than the tournaments. Don't get me wrong, I do like to watch the tournament. I love ADCC. You know, I do actually quite like watching the sort of the big IBGF events as well. But I love that format of it's one match and, you know, there's a load of people, you know, I sort of really like that. And Tanko died a death when we had one show and then disappeared. And we just thought there's a market for this. And we wanted to be slightly different. As I said, I was training mainly no-gi, submission grappling then, and we just thought, let's just do that. We were originally going to go a little bit like Polaris, where it's sort of half and half. And I said, let's just make it one thing, because sometimes you see the rule sets on these different shows, and people don't know what they are, because this one's a gi match, this one's this, or they're doing IBGF rules, these are ADCC rules, this one's just submission only, you know, no time limit. People sort of didn't know, you know, I've been in the crowd and not known what was what, you know, are they using heel-hooks, are they not? And I said, let's just make it dead simple. It's all submission grappling. It's all subs allowed. Every fight's exactly the same. They're all the same time limit, apart from the belt matches, which are 15 minutes. Normal matches are 10. And it makes it easy for the crowd to understand. And it's worked out, really, because we've had people who compete in, and their mates have come who don't know anything about it. There's wives and girlfriends come, you know, and husbands and stuff like that. People who train, had a few beers, watched it, and they've come up to me after and said, that was really good. That I didn't thought I wasn't going to enjoy it. I didn't know what was going to be going on. But, you know, it's quite easy to follow, isn't it? So that was our plan, and yeah, luckily enough, it took off. Everyone seemed to like the first show, and we thought, right, let's have a crack at it. So yeah, and here we are.
No, definitely. What was sort of like the inspiration behind the rule set? Because I'm a massive fan of where you've prioritised a submission attack over anything else, because it keeps the action going and it can cause for a big upset, which for me, I think it just adds to the beauty of the sort of the match set. So what was that initial sort of mindset behind the rules?
Basically, yeah, it's sort of the way I like to grapple. I mean, we're teammates, aren't we? So, you know, we've trained a lot together. It's the way I like to grapple, coming from Darren as well. As submission is king. It should be about the submission. You know, don't get me wrong. I do totally get the rule set for the IBGF in the gi, because it does work and it's for all this, you know, you're given points on how you're advancing, passing guard, which in the gi is probably one of the hardest things you can do to pass the gi. Once you actually pass the guard, life's a lot easier, isn't it? Getting out of someone's closed guard is difficult. I understand mount, back control, they're dominant controls in MMA that can cause a lot of damage, but this is grappling, it's not MMA. You know, it's not a real fight. Anything with a referee in it's not a real fight. It's a game of skill. So for me, submission is king. So even if I've had it in the gym, I've had rounds where people kick the shit out of me, and then I pulled out, you know, that submission right at the end of the round. I've got that, and you can see how frustrated people's faces. And I was all over him. But it also makes you look at your defense and your strategy. At the end of the day, if it is, you know, it was a real fight. At the end of the day, even if you were getting rolled, if you can defend yourself and then you can choke someone out unconscious and walk away from it unscathed, you've done the right thing.
Yeah.
But in a game of skill, you know, for me, the submission is king, and I think it should be awarded on submission attempts, so people don't come and play this safety game where they pass the guard, they'll get mounted and they'll hang on to it and stay there. And we've all done it in tournaments. Don't get me wrong. I was in the final of a big tournament, passed someone's guard, and I remember thinking, I might be able to, you know, get on that arm there, but if I do, he might go to tilt, I might lose his position. And you've stayed there only, there's 10 seconds on the clock, and you just go, well, I'm just going to ride this out, get a gold medal. Now, every match I've ever done, I've done that. I've come away from it and thought, you shouldn't do that. You should be trying to finish them. You should be trying to finish them all the time. And even in points now, I just try and finish everybody all the time. But I think I give the competitors the freedom to be able to go, do you know what, sod it, balls to the wall. I don't have to worry about getting swept. Because if I do get swept, as he's coming to the top, that leg lock might be there, that triangle, I might be able to jump that, you know what I mean? I think guys are more prepared to take risks and have a go in this rule set where there's nothing on the line apart from submission attempts. Seeing they do get swept or they do get mounted, if they come out of that position, they come into a more sort of advantageous position where a sub could be locked in. The rest are looking at that. So it's a totally different game. It's changed the game from the IBJJF rules, which has become the norm, to, let's just have a go and let's try and finish each other. So it's worked as well. It's 100% it's worked. Because I don't do any, yourself, and do my matchups. Nobody gets a gimme. The ASW lads have had some of the hardest matches on there, and I've made sure that I didn't want anyone to give me to go, oh, look at these lads, he's giving them a bit of bias, because I think we've all seen that in the past with certain MMA shows and things like that, and I thought, I'm not having anyone accuse me of that. So I give everyone a tough fight, and I think it's worked out. So the submission rate, even though the 50-50 matches is high, you know what I mean? I don't think that's over all the shows, but we have shows where there's sort of 30 matches and you'll get 20 finishes and things like that. And 2/3 submission rate, that's pretty good on the 50-50 matches. You expect more subs in a tournament, don't you? Where the guys who aren't as good get filtered out quickly, don't you?
Yeah.
Top tournaments don't seem to get that submission rate because I think everyone wants to advance to the next round, don't they? So they play it safe. If they're 10-0 up, they think, well, I'm not going to give up position, I'm going to stay. Whereas this one, when there's no points, people don't give a shit, do they? So they just think, well, go on, I'll go for that arm, because if I don't go for that arm, I've done no submission attempts, so they will go for it. So I think it's worked.
Of course,
definitely.
One thing that I completely agree with, MMA shows, obviously the submission grappling shows are sort of new in the sort of last few years, so you don't see it as much in this sort of equal fights. But the MMA shows, and me being a promoter as well, I cringe at some fights that get put together because you just think, why? Like, I don't get the mindset of the fighter that's definitely the favourite destroying someone. What you're learning, especially at the amateur ranks, you need something to sort of get the experience, learn to lose. Obviously, no one wants to lose, but losses is a part of the sport, no matter what. Especially in jiu-jitsu. If there's anyone,
it doesn't matter how much does it.
No.
There should be no one defeating in jiu-jitsu because most likely someone will catch you out at some point.
Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah, but I mean, just going back to the thing, I think it purely comes down to economics, doesn't it? People get guys in, they're the hometown favourite, they're going to sell 50, 60 tickets, something like that. The promoter wants them back on the show, doesn't he? And then he goes, he's my ticket seller, and we've seen it, and we've seen careers built on the back of it, and then we've seen them go to bigger shows, and then we've seen them get, very, very quickly get highlighted. Oh shit, they're not quite at that 10-0 standard that they thought they were. So it's a bit of a shame for everyone involved.
Yeah,
you've got to have those tough fights.
Just back to the rule set you do a minute. Is it that you get marked at every submission attempt they go for? So one person got 3, the other person got 2, and that's sort of the favourite, or is it a different aspect? Because I always picture, if it's based on submission attempts, someone pretending they've got an ankle lock and it's not technically on. How do you work that out for the referee point?
No, it's got to be like a fully locked in submission, like a fully locked in triangle that you're going for, and they've managed to get out of it. You can't just go into single leg X and pretend you're getting a leg lock. It's got to be a fully locked in, a full guillotine attempt, proper, not where they just pass the side control or something like that. Something that the person has to defend, not that just comes off during the roll. They have to physically stop their attacking and defend it. So I explained this in the rules meeting. It's pretty clear. When we first started, we had a few comments online going, how could you do that? He passed his guard 3 times, and then, and I'm like, yeah, but, the other guy had more submission attempts. Now we're sort of like 2.5 sort of years in. People who don't tend to get those sort of comments anymore. So people have sussed it out and what it is, and they sort of understand it. But from the start, like Si knows, you've been in the rules meeting a few times. I stressed that really clearly, that it's got to be genuine, no blagging. And basically, I would say, listen, if you pass the guard once and you lie on top of the guy for 9 minutes, and you win the match because nothing else happened in the match, that's great, but you won't come back. If you put on a brilliant show where it's back and forth for 9.5 minutes, submission, you're going for it, and somebody catches you, I'll probably bring you back because you're putting a great show. It's about the show as well. It's about the event. It's about, showing that style. So, people seem to have took to it. Everyone every one of the competitors, we really had any complaints, win or lose. They've never really complained about any judges' decisions or anything like that. I hate the Dana White cliche, don't leave in the hands of the judges, but people are good and you can't always finish them. But just do the best job you can. Just always be trying to finish, and that's the mindset. Going back to what we were saying, your mindset should always be to try and finish the fight. You can't submit everyone. You should always be trying to.
Yeah. Is it marked down on submissions and stuff? Say, for instance, me and Simon against each other, and he's got 3 triangles, and I went for 2 guillotines. He would get it for getting the most, or is it a different?
Yeah, that is the first criteria.
Yeah.
If submission attempts are equal, or there wasn't any in the whole match, then it comes down to positional dominance as a second level criteria, i.e. guard passes, back takes, mount, things like that. Goes into like a scoring system then, who dominate positionally. But only if submission attempts are even, or there wasn't any submission attempts, obviously there's like 0. Before that, if you pass the guard 3 times, but then the other guys have 3 submission attempts, he's going to win.
Nice, straightforward. Just wanted to make sure that people listening and watching.
Dead straightforward. And I have typed it out a couple of times, And then there's only one match, one teammate of one person, so like I said, sent me a message, in the inbox saying, how could you score this and blah, blah, blah. And it's pretty easy. I'm just like, well, these are the rules. Mirrors me, and he understands the rules. The rules are published. It's quite easy to do. So, but people don't take the time to. It's like when you watch the ADCC, and people are only just starting to learn the rules now in the ADCC because they still think it's the same as the IBJJF. And it's completely different. And they say, yeah, but he took him down and he did this. I'm like, yeah, that was in the first 5 minutes, mate. There's no score in the first 5 minutes. People don't understand it because they don't learn the rules. I did an ADCC scoring course in 2014. You know what I mean? So I've always kept myself up to date with the rules and various rule sets when so know what's happening. People don't. You can't expect. It's like bloody hell. It's like the rules of football, isn't it? How long have we been watching that? And half people don't know the rules. To be honest, I don't these days because I don't watch it. But it's like everything. So again, though, going back to what you said, try to make it dead simple, just dead simple, so anyone in the crowd could watch it and go, yeah, he's just trying to rip each other's heads off. That's it.
You think about it as well. They are the people that are sort of keeping these sports alive as spectator sports. You need that money coming in, so you need the people to come in, understand it, and go, yeah, I understand that. I'm going to come back next time. Rather than you could come and support Simon for argument's sake, one of his mates, and I'm only there for Simon. But if he enjoys it or she enjoys it and understands the sport, they might just come back for the next one anyway because they might see 1 or 2 people they want to carry on watching.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. I'm trying to build people's careers up, trying to, get them on there, get them on Flow Grappling, get the names out there, explain all this to the guys. We want to make it an event, like I said, we initially, we always started, and I said, listen, I want this to be sort of like the darts, not the snooker. I want that atmosphere. We've got music on in the background. We've got a loud crowd. People are having beers. You know what I mean? So I'll tell you, you've been the crowd's all over you. It's really close to you. The people over the top of you, sort of, hanging over the top of you on the balconies and stuff. We've made it that sort of atmosphere. That people have come and just had a night out, like I said before. Wives, girlfriends, and husbands and stuff like that who don't do the sport themselves, but the partner does, have come and said to me, I didn't think I was going to be into that, but it was brilliant. Really enjoyed it and had a good night out. So, yeah, hopefully it's working out that way. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I can attest for that as well with like people that when I've been on the show and competed, like from an athlete side of it, it's very well run. You know exactly where you're up to, when to warm up. Like Louise is brilliant as a runner as well. Like she's on it like a hawk, and
so organised.
Definitely. And for everyone that's sort of come to watch it as well, who's friends of mine who've not necessarily been into the sport or even known about the sport, they've come away going like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this match happened here, and why has this person done this to this person? I'm like, and they said, you getting into it, they're like going, I can't turn my eyes away. And like,
brilliant, that's brilliant news.
And they love the atmosphere as well, like, because we've made the comparison before with like other shows we've been to where it's, like you said, it's been like the snooker where everyone's watching it, and if you're a bit of a louder participant in the crowd, you kind of get looked at funny. Whereas at Grapple Fest,
there's that thing, wasn't that big thread? Do you remember that one on the underground where that lad got a bit worse away from Polaris and just got ruined? I was there. I was upstairs, or I could hear him downstairs, and I was there watching it, and that's sort of one of the things. Don't get me wrong, I love Polaris, great show, great guys, get on with them well, chat to them and everything. And they've got their way of doing it. I think they sort of, went down that sort of pride, Japanese route, you like all that crowd. But I just thought, listen, we're Northerners, we're from the Northwest, we're loud, it's the way we are, we have a laugh, it's a different sort of thing. And I just thought, let's do it our way, and let's that was me and Darren sat down, we told them, so let's make it like the darts. We want that atmosphere. You know, we don't want the snooker. We want the darts, and you know, we want a load of pissed up northerners in there sort of having a crack. And to be fair, the guys from down south who've all come up and said, "Fuck you, like mental." You know what I mean? It's brilliant, superb. Who else puts on grappling shows in nightclubs? You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
That's one thing I was going to point out. So I went to the first one. I can't believe it's been over 2 years since. I think it's like June.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was June the 9th, 2018. It was, mate. Yeah.
So 2 years now. Obviously, I've watched them on Flow since and stuff like that. Me and you seem to have just either clashed for events the last sort of.
Oh yeah, we've always chatted, haven't we, about it? We've always said, yeah.
So what it reminds me of is like when you fight in Thailand in the bars, and it's sort of like it's that sort of atmosphere that you start bringing, but with the Scouse twist.
Yeah, that's sort of what we wanted. You know, we just wanted that atmosphere. We wanted, you know, like I said, make it an event, make it a social event, rather than just you know, because let's face it, jiu-jitsu is a tiny niche sport. Probably our social media news feeds are just full of it, really, because, you know, that's what we do and we're all into it. But in the grand scheme of things, if we step back out of it, it's small. So if you're just relying on just those people in jiu-jitsu all the time, it's a bit different for you because you run tournaments. So the only people who are going to come to those tournaments are jiu-jitsu people. But if you want a crowd like yours with your MMA events and stuff like that, you've got to generate that crowd. I mean, MMA, Conor McGregor's done wonders for in the UK and in Europe, because it's gone from a niche sport to, you know, it's pretty. I'd say it was well established now, isn't it? So you will get people who come and watch it, but submission grappling just on its own, then it's a bit of a hard sell to people. So we're trying to drag those people in, let them see it's an event. I think that's the only way that sport will grow, is if spectators come and watch it. Literally is, because it is growing numbers wise. I mean, Jesus Christ, I've been going on 14 years or so, and the difference now in that time is phenomenal. You know, there's tournaments nearly every week now, isn't it? It used to be like 2 or 3 a year, didn't it, and stuff like that. Exactly. So it is getting bigger, but if you want to generate any sort of money out of it, any sort of funds out of it, you know, a huge part of our revenue comes from ticket sales, you know, every time. And obviously this one's going to be a bit tougher because it's closed doors, but it's, you know, we've put on a smaller show simply because of that. So yeah, you just want to get people involved and grow the sport, really. Yeah, that's a big part of it.
You make a great point, because with Empire and UKFC and stuff, we're working out ways to try and set dates. We're hoping when crowds can start to come back in, but you need sort of things in place that if they don't, and people don't seem to understand the amount of money that gets put into it before anyone even walks through the door. So the fact that you're putting something on where no one's walking through the door and you've still got loads of things in place, it's a big credit to you, because it just shows how much you're investing back into the sport. You want it the long side. You're not in just to make a quick few bucks, which us three all know. There's events out there, MMA and Jiu-Jitsu, that do that, which is, I've known for the last 8 years of doing my events, I've invested so much back into it, and it sort of shot me in the foot now in COVID, because there's nothing to show what money I've earned, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still happy with that I've invested.
I feel for you, mate. I feel for you, because, you know, I've been a big supporter of your events since you started. You know what I mean? I've been on and done super fights. I've had all my lads done it. I've done the tournaments myself. I've sort of done every aspect of them for you. So I get it. And shutting them down is horrendous. And but going back to that, put it this way, I'm not going to make any money out of the show. 100%. I've already done the maths, mate. I'm making nothing. But it was one of those things. We want to stay relevant. We actually were contracted with Flow. We've got to do 4 shows a year. So if it sort of don't get one in, I've only done 1 this year, it's going to be tough to squeeze any more. I think it'd be pretty cool, is because they understand, you know, everyone's had the contract. It's more of a contract of, you know, to make sure you put them on. But considering we've just had 3 or 4 months a year disappeared, then, you know, they're pretty good guys to deal with. So, but, you know, so we're contracted to try and do 4. If I can get this one in and then get September in, I can probably get end of November, early December in, so I can get my 4 shows in. But we just thought, let's stay relevant. The government guidelines came out that were sort of allowing you to, you know, professional sports could, you know, that was televised and stuff, which we streamed, sort of get the go ahead. So we just thought, you know what, let's read them all properly. Got the solicitors to read it all. You know, spoke to what we needed for, you know, medical officers and what tests and all this sort of stuff. And we just thought, we can do this. Do you know what I mean? Let's crack on, see what we can do.
Amazing. Definitely.
I think the sort of the good sort of side of it is going to be the exposure you're going to get for the upcoming shows as well. Like
That's
I think
sort of keeps us relevant. People are going to see it. It's not. I mean, I've explained to all the guys who compete on it. I said, listen, it's not going to look like the normal show does, all the razzmatazz lights, this and that. We're doing it as best as we can. It's going to be a smaller venue. You know, we've got choice of two. We're just sound check, stream testing them both for the internet, one tomorrow and one on Wednesday, just to make sure that everything's right and we can get. Because the most important thing for us, obviously, is the internet coverage. It's got to be, perfect. It's got to be plugged in. It's got to be right. We can't lose that. And then hopefully, what we'll do is we'll get a lot more online views this time. We log into Flow and watch it, and hopefully some of those guys who can't travel to the show in the future, we'll get an account and they'll start watching it that way, because it's the future of the sport. I think being the streams, the future. That's the way it's going to be, and getting on board with a big streaming site like Flow, that's the way for us to go. And we just thought, well, we can stream it, we can get it done. I can put some good matches on. A lot of the guys I spoke to them and said, listen, I can't pay you loads. It's, everyone's sort of got to have a little bit, because it's got to be a professional show, so it's got to be sort of paid. There's not going to be a lot of money. They're not going to be able to, and I've explained that to you, right? I said, listen, but I will, do this for us and blah, 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 and I'll look after you. And do you know what? Most people were itching to get back on, and they were like, yeah. Just sign me up. They weren't even asking figures, which is, I can't, credit people enough for that. Everyone just wanted to get going again. And plus, being on a show classes them in this elite bracket, which the government has sort of been very cagey about the words if you look at it, because I don't think they want it to sort of like people who do make the livings out of it. They haven't specifically said it must be this, it must be that, or you must get a certain amount or anything like that. You just need to be elite. It just says it needs to be elite sportsmen, sort of on elite shows, and we qualify for that. We had it all checked legally, and we were like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. So credit to the guys, honestly, for taking some pay cuts and things like that, but they've been pretty good. So yeah, all good. But yeah.
I think obviously with the football coming back in 2 days on Wednesday, the Premier League in the UK, and not be behind closed doors.
Was it Wednesday? I thought it was Saturday.
It's Wednesday for the catch-up matches of people that are not on the same.
Yeah, because a few are behind. They're going to get them all. They'll probably get them all level and up in the season, won't
they? Well, so if it's null and void as a United fan, that's happy with me.
Yeah.
So I feel like once you get 2 or 3 weeks of a Premier League starting back and it feels a bit more normal, I feel like things will start to rapidly return to normal. Maybe they'll start to open gyms or end of July, beginning of August. And I think that'll be a good thing. Obviously, it's not gone. It won't be going for a while. There's no sort of cure for this. But we can't just live in lockdown. It's not good for anyone. People need to start earning money. People need to start doing things for their mental health and training and stuff like that. And
100%. The world's got, people have got big financial worries. They're having work. People are worrying: are they going to go back to after they get off furlough? Are they going to get sort of laid off? Things like that. The world's got to start ticking. We've got to, the economy's got to start going again. I think it's sort of going that way, isn't it? Like I said, over here we had a lot harsher lockdown, but they've got there's quality of life been open. Bars, cafes, people are out and about. The first weekend when it happened, we went out. And it was dead. And we were like, whoa, what's going on? No one's out. But now it's slowly opening up. The beaches are getting full. People starting to come out. It took a couple of weeks, but it's starting to look good. And they've got to do that. And things like these events, football. In Spain, they started playing last Friday. Friday just gone. Like I said, the guy who helped me with my knees at Malaga. And he was there with them sort of Friday night. And then he's gone to Tenerife. He's going over there. They're playing. They're doing the same catch-up. They're doing playing 2 games a week, just try and get the season finished, because over here if it gets too hot, they call the matches off as well. Wow. And it's getting hot. Really hot. So
we're starting to go down. It's humid but raining. It's the strangest thing. So
it's what?
It's humid, but it's just starting to rain a lot. It's warm, but raining.
That's been sort of the last few summers in England, though, hasn't it? It's been really nice, sort of April, May. And then when it gets into June, July, and August, it just rains all the time. It's warm. It's like humid and raining all the time. It's been like the last 4 or 5 years. So it's time to get away.
So let's talk about this card then. When did you decide to put it together? What made you make the decision? Was it as soon as the guidance came out from the government, you were like, right, we're on it, let's get these matches sorted? And how quick did you got 12 matches booked, how quick did they come together? Was it people chomping at the bit?
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, the guidelines came out, didn't they? We were looking at them, and first of all, initially thought this is going to be a massive pain in the ass. I don't think so. But then the more we sort of studied them, and the more we got a legal guy on them, looking sort of like a friend who's who's a sort of a solicitor who's involved in some professional sports as well, and they were actually doing something like this for sort of like a, well, it was a football, I don't want to name it, you know what I mean, but they give me they give me a bit of a hand on it and said, this is what we're able to do, blah, 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 this is that. And we just thought, that's no different from what we do normally. And a massive part of it as well, which is sort of a good thing, is that the fact that jiu-jitsu and grappling stuff is unregulated in the country. There is no governing body. There isn't anything like that. So we don't have to jump through those sort of hoops that they're having to jump through. You know, a lot of some of the stuff the guy was saying with football, it was just crazy what they were having to do. We've just basically got to comply with all the health regulations, get the doctors sorted, got the medics, temperature checks, all the PPE's got to be in the building, there's got to be all this sort of stuff. Again, the guys have got to be elite athletes who are on it. It wasn't as complicated when you read through it all as I actually first thought it was going to be, because you get this load of bumps in front of you and you don't, and it's a load of words, and the way they word everything, I just looked and thought, oh God, no. Felt like I was back at school, you know, trying to learn it, and I wasn't the best at school anyway. So I just thought, right, but then we sat down and read it a few times, thought this isn't too hard to do. So then I sounded out a few of the athletes, listen, what, you know, was any of you, I don't know if any of you training, sort of wink, wink, and, you know, where are you and what's this, and, you know, what you're doing. If I was to put a show on in 4 weeks' time, could you be ready if you get the, you know, elite athlete sort of thing? Could you be done? And listen, everyone's going, yeah, me. It was just inbox, just crazy, you know what I mean? I was like, oh shit, yeah, I reckon we're pretty keen. There's literally been not one person who we've sort of spoken to who said, oh no, I don't fancy that now. And most of the guys have sort of said, yeah, I've just got back training just this week. So, all right, yes,
yeah, good stuff. We were putting.
So we give them 4 weeks to make sure they're match fit. And literally, mate, I'm not joking. I put the card together in about 48 hours, something like that.
I completely know where you're coming from. We were putting feelers out maybe for a UKFC in August or an Empire, doing something in August, even similar to what you're doing behind closed doors, to try and figure something out. And we put feelers out who's training, and the amount of people that I obviously don't want to name names and put people in trouble, but the amount of people that have probably not even stopped is mental.
Yeah, well, they're just all practicing on chairs in the front room, aren't they, and stuff like that, you know.
Simon's one of them.
Yeah, I've been in the garden with them all.
But so
yeah.
What made you? What obviously you need to see who's available, and maybe you've got a shorter list than normal. What made you put these 12 matches together?
We couldn't fly anyone in. That was one of the main things. Normally we'd fly international guys in, you know, and or Europe, America, Brazil, you know, Australia. We've flown them in from everywhere. We didn't want to do that. The quarantine things were still in place, which I've been told are pretty much a joke in the UK. You just have to give a mobile phone number in. But I didn't want to be, you know, responsible for anyone moaning about people flying in from different continents. I didn't want to do any of that. So I said it's going to have to be an all UK-based, athletes-based card. We're going to make it smaller because we're only allowed X amount of people in the buildings on square foot, and you know the amount of people you can have in the building. So this was the maximum we could put together was 12, so 24 people. But even that, with the one corner, there's going to be times where we're going to have to say to people, you can come in at sort of enter the venue at this time. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want, even though we could have, because we've got it all right, we're going to maybe split into 6 and 6, a little 10-15 minute break in the middle. And sort of say, you're on the first half, you're on the second half, be there at this time. We're going to, for the first time ever, do a video weigh-in the night before, because I don't want everyone to turn up at the one time to weigh in together and do the medicals together. So it'll be one at a time. We've just, even though my personal view is most of these guys are healthy, they're going to be fine, there's not going to be any issues whatsoever. We're just sticking to all the rules. So no one can ever turn around and go, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So everything's covered. The guys are training. It's up to them to responsibly train. I had a word with them all and just said, listen, just, you know, try and make sure you do everything the correct way, so you know, there's no hassle for anybody. So they're cracking on with the training, and you know, we're getting ready to go. And like I said, it's less than half of what we normally do. We normally hit about 30 matches. We're only on 12, so it's a small card. But I'm really happy with it. All UK athletes, and it makes you sort of realise what a pool of talent we've got, really, because the main card, apart from maybe another big international match or maybe two, it's pretty much not far off the sort of standard we'd have anyway. So I'm made up with it. The top sort of 3 matches, they're fantastic. You're not going to get, you know, there's not going to be, I can't see any better UK athletes are going to be on than those sort of based in these, you know, a couple of them are Brazilians, but they're based here.
Yeah.
I can't see those being any better than anyone else can put on, really, if it was international.
Let's quickly look at the card, then this is your main event, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, Fionn v Italian. Yeah, that's the main event. She's living up in Liverpool now. Training sort of with Mario Sucata. I think they go way back with them. She's got a boyfriend up there who's on the card as well, Lucas. So I was throwing it around with Fionn, because Fionn's well game for a match. I was throwing it around, seeing what there was. And I said, listen, I've got such a body, but I've also got this, big open weight match. What do you reckon? Sort of threw it out there, and she messaged me back in about 5 seconds, just going, yeah, 100%. I will get thrown around for the people's viewing. Love it. Games they come for, I love her. And fair play to Tyan. She said straight away, yeah, love that match. Fion's, huge name, IBJF world champion, ADCC silver medalist. They're both ADCC medalists this year. And we just thought, you know what, we've never done an open weight crazy match like that ever before. And thought, well, it's crazy times, isn't it? Let's crack on and do this shit. So yeah, here we are.
Two of the sort of bigger names at the moment, aren't they, within women's grappling? So it'll be sort of
huge,
great one for exposure for that side of the sport. Yeah,
they're both, on fire at the moment. I can't really think of a sort of a bigger open weight match you could get. Maybe Gabby Garcia or something like that. But that'll literally be it, isn't it? I can't think of too big a names really. No. And Fionn being sort of, for me, the most successful UK grappler we've had. Dan Strauss, Ross Nichols, two standout guys. But Fionn's winning black belt world titles, and she's from our shores. So she's been on Grapple Fest twice before. Fantastic performances both times. So it's, I'm really looking forward. It's going to be one of those matches I'm going to literally sit back as a fan and watch and just be like, wow, this is going to be brilliant. I'm buzzing for that.
Yeah,
really am.
Like you said before about obviously your contract with Flow to do 4 events a year, you'll have some grapplers around the UK and obviously around the world that they've got sponsorships where they've got to compete so many times or have got to stay active so many times. So that maybe give them a platform, especially with someone like Fionn that's maybe sponsored. Obviously depends what the contracts are and stuff, that they need to keep active. So maybe this is a good thing for them.
Yeah, I reckon so. Polaris are on the week after us as well. They're doing exactly the same sort of thing. Like I said, I had a good chat with the guys, the good guys. They're doing the same thing. They're doing like a Grand Prix, like a UK Grand Prix under 80 kilos. I don't know who's in it, actually. I don't think they've released it yet. So they're doing a sort of a similar thing. But like I said, I think some of these athletes are probably our contract. I remember in one of my sponsorship contracts once I had it, you had to stay relevant unless injured or something like that. I can't remember the exact wording, but it wasn't saying you must compete 10 times a year, but it's basically saying, no, you must be promoting the brand, you must be competing whenever possible and blah, 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 stuff like that. So yeah, you're probably right. These guys probably, they've got a duty of care to sort of be out there, but like I said, it really wasn't an issue to try and get anyone. I could have put like 50 matches on. Seriously, I could have put 50 matches on. It's mad.
So this is your main event. Is that 10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah. I was hard thinking around a little chat with them and let the cat out of the bag maybe and say, listen, do you want to do this one for an open weight belt and we'll put it at 15, but at the moment it's set for 10. So I'm not even broke. So I only thought about that this morning. I thought maybe. So we'll wait and see. You might see some developments on that one, but at the moment it's just set for 10 minutes. All the matches are 10 minutes on this show.
Could be the first bit of breaking news you've had on this podcast. So that's decent. Oh, nice one.
Maybe nothing's been settled yet. I've not even approached the girls yet. So I'm putting it out there, but maybe they will. Maybe it was the speed they took the match together. I thought, yeah, these two are well up for it. So you never know.
So after that, we've got, I believe this is the co-main, Strauss and Souza.
Yeah, Jackson Souza and Dan Strauss. Yeah, great. They've never actually met before. They're sort of doing it around 95 kilos. I think they both sit around roughly somewhere around that weight anyway. Jackson's got a sort of a great IBGF record, great IBGF style, but he's also an ADCC bronze medalist in, was it 2017? Dan's been on all the big shows, hasn't he? EBI, Grapple Fest, Polaris, Quintet. He's done them all. He's one of the UK's best guys. Great guy as well. Jackson's probably the favourite, maybe. It's sort of a little bit with his style, but I tell you what, if Dan gets hold of your neck or gets hold of something, you're in for a tough night. So with our rule set, it turns it into a 50-50 match.
Yeah. He was a Grapple Nation heavyweight champion as well 5 years ago.
Do you know what? I remember that actually because I remember you put the vids out because I was actually on holiday. I was over here, and my mum and dad lived not far away, and I was staying at their place. And I remember you put the videos out and watching it. And I remember looking through. There was a few people in it, wasn't it? And Dan sort of ran for everyone, didn't he? In the end,
There was Alan Love from Scotland, Chris Regan, and RUS Fanmaz.
That was it. Yeah.
Obviously, I've not seen RU in a long time compete as much as they used to.
I nearly had him matched on the show.
Nice. Well, nice to see him active again.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him on in September hopefully. But yeah, nearly had him matched for this one, but it's unfortunately it fell through, and then we were stuck with numbers at the end. Wanted it 12, and it was confirmed. I'd say to people, listen, it was literally the first matches I could put together that were, ones that we wanted. So yeah.
Where's Jackson training at the minute then, if he's in the UK?
He's got his own place in, I think it's Hammersmith in London. He's a Checkmat guy, isn't he? He was training at, I think it's Fight Zone, wasn't he? He was there teaching out of there and training out of there. And now he's opened up his own place. I'm pretty sure it's Checkmat Hammersmith in London. So yeah, he's down there.
I must say the co-main and main, it's tasty as hell. It's
as good as any. It's as good as any we've ever put on. I think it's fantastic. I'm really pleased with those.
After that, we've got here this one could be fight of the night. Ash Williams and Kev Corkill. We talk about Kev a lot on this podcast, don't we, Si? Because he's just
a band man.
So entertaining to watch. How did this one come together? Because these are elite, but obviously Ash is more of a name than Kev. Obviously Kev in the Northwest. How did this one come together?
Well, I mean, Ash, another one of those guys. You've got to say one of the UK's best, isn't he? He's been all over, competing everything again. So done EBI. He's a Polaris champion. He's been on Grapple Fest before. He fought for that belt in the last show we put on. And we did actually have the match a couple of shows ago, but Kev got really ill the week before and basically just couldn't do it. So with us only able to get UK guys in, I thought, it's about time we put this one together. Kev's not as big a name, as Ash normally sort of probably wants to get, but he understands, there's with the UK only fights and things like that. But I think he also understands Kev's talent. I mean, like I'll tell you, he's enrolling with Kev. I don't ever think he's put his gym form into competition yet. He does, he says he gets a few nerves and things like that. I've seen him on fire, seen him, absolutely amazing. But when you see him in the gym, it's different, mate. He's fantastic, honestly. He's an absolute killer. So maybe the closed door thing might help Kev out. Maybe it might suit him a little bit, a little less pressure for the crowd and things like that. It might do. But him and Ash, I think, people don't want to sleep on this one because on paper it looks like Ash is sort of, way out of Kev's league. I think when they actually grapple, I think it'll be a lot closer than anyone expects. So I'm expecting fireworks. And like you say, you're not the only person who said to me this could be fight of the night. It's everyone's looking forward to it.
I'd have to agree with that one. Like trying to grapple with Kev is hold a wet bar of soap. Like
it's just unbelievable, isn't it? And he's still strong as shit, doesn't he? As well when you're rolling with him, and his technique's unbelievable. And he's made of rubber, bends in half. It's gonna be interesting. But I really rate Ash. Fantastic grappler. His passing's really good. He was in a leg lock battle with him and Ari, wasn't he, for like 10 or 15 minutes, something like that, and more than held his own. So he's good in every single area. He's upped his submission rates. Is one thing I think he wasn't doing. He was winning fights, wasn't submitting people. That seems to have come back. He's getting his submissions in. So like I said, I can't say enough good things about these two. They both jumped at the match. They both took it. When it's another one just great. Most of the time I do, to be quite honest with you. That's why I like doing the commentary when I do it on the show. People say, how'd you do that? And I'm like, listen, it means instead of getting hassled, I actually just get to sit there and watch these matches because I love it and I'm a massive fan.
I don't know how you do that, because if I tried to commentate at UKFC, which I did at the beginning, or tried to sit down and watch any matches at Empire, I would be dragged from pillar to post. Whoever your right-hand person is must be gold.
Well, so who we're touching on, I've got Darren behind me, sort of, when what Darren says that people do it, trust me, people are doing it, 100%. and then I've got my Mrs. Louise and Hannah in the background, and Simon will say, they're so organised, they've got it down to a T. Yeah. And I've got so much confidence, even down to, Kev, even our DJs, one of my brown belts, people like that, the music are right, the lights are right. I've got that much confidence in people around me that it allows me to do it, do you know what I mean? And so it's a one time. I spend so much time putting it together, doing all the promo, putting all the things, getting all the purses, getting everything. Me and Louise we book the flights, we book the hotel, we do everything. It's not like we've got anyone to do it for us. We just do it all ourselves. It's like a full-time job for me. So I do all that. So when the show comes, I'm like, right, I want to watch this shit now because I put this together and I love it. So I just want to sit there and watch these matches. And, you know, when I am just a massive fan at the end of the day, and I'll just sit there watching it all, loving it. You leave me on commentary, getting excited about submissions and, you know, the transitions, stuff like that. So yeah, I just love watching it.
So you said that Ash won one of your belts. Is this a defense of his belt, or how's that working?
No, he fought Cade Rutulo, who edged him out in a 15-minute decision. Right. Yeah. He got a unanimous decision on him. Yeah, Cade's absolutely flying. You know, he beat Ethan Krellenstein at the weekend as well. You know, so one of those guys have got the belt. I'm sure they'll meet again in the future at some time. But yeah, he's our 70 kilos belt holder. So Ash is coming off a loss on the show. So again, it's a great way for him to try and get back in the win column. But you know, Kev's chomping at the bit to try and get his profile out there.
Oh, I can imagine.
Next up is probably a match that I probably never thought would happen, or never was even on my mindset. Ben, I've knew since he was a kid, probably over 10 years now. He fought one of my old teammates in amateur MMA in 2010. And I've knew Lou for as long as he's been a pro MMA fighter. I love this match, and I personally think Ben might have the edge because of grappling, and Lou is more MMA fighter, and it seemed to, when you watch like Submission Underground, they seem to sort of stall a little bit longer, and I think Ben will attack a bit more for the submissions. What's your thought on this one?
I really like this match. Really like it. I was pretty pleased. And again, it was one of those ones that sort of like came out the woodwork, sort of, you know, wasn't sure. I was looking at somebody else for Ben. And Lou was one of those people that bounced into my inbox as I was actually looking at another person for Ben. And it was like one of those things where I was on my phone and it bounced in and I just went, oh, yeah, I might have something for you. Give me 10 minutes. And he went, oh, yeah, sure, bud. Straight over to the other side to Ben. Yeah, bang, straight away. Back to Luke. Do you want that? Yeah, done. It was one of those that it was a bit of fate, you know, just dropped on it, which doesn't often happen because I pride myself on my matchmaking and I study styles for ages and I put them together and things like that. But that was one of those that instantly I knew they will go well against each other. Clash of styles, like you said. Different, you know, different sort of style. But I mean, you can't sleep on Lou's grappling. You saw him against Freddie on Polaris, didn't he? Where Freddie did everything he could to try and leg lock him for 10 minutes. He's one of the best leg lockers in Europe, and he couldn't get anywhere near him. Lou wasn't in trouble once. You know, he's fought on some big shows. He's really good. His MMA, you know, speaks for itself, doesn't it? He's, you know, fantastic MMA fighter, isn't he? You know, he's a black belt now. You know, Ben's a brown belt on the floor, but like you say, he's been training ages. He just took a break, didn't he, for a while? Yeah. He's been training probably. I think he started around the time I sort of started, sort of 2006.
He came back. Like I bumped into him for the first time in years at your first Grapple Fest show. I was like, Ben, where have you been? He's like, oh, I've been out for a while. I'm getting back into it. I'm going to get on the next Grapple Fest. I was speaking to Tomo, and then he's just been on fire ever since. He's done
ever since. Empires. He took about 4 years off. I'm not quite sure why. I've never asked him actually. I think he took about 4 or 5 years off or something like that. It's like I said, I think he got into it early doors when he was like 15 or something like that, and he got really good and got to purple belt. And I think for purple belt, then he took a bit of a break and he came back and he literally got into it. And so hopefully Grapple Fest was, you know, ignited his fire a little bit. He liked the thing, and I think he got on the second show. Well, Paul Rimmer said, listen, I've got this guy, he's really good. And I was thinking, purple belt next gen, I don't know him, you know what I mean? To know all the guys. I was thinking, okay, I trust Paul, you know, speak to Paul, you know, quite a lot. I said, okay, sound. Fired on. Like I said, he's been on the show, and he's pretty much been on, it's our 9th show. I reckon he's done 6 of them, maybe 7, something like that. You know, he's done quite a few. And he's built himself a good record. He's sort of getting there. And he actually asked me, can I get a black belt, something like that. You know, he's done really well at purple and brown. So he wants to start sort of upping his level up now. His grappling's at that level. He's 100%. You know, when I've rolled him, he's you know, he is black belt level now. You know, but obviously he's got to do his time, serve his time a little bit more. You know, affect his craft. But yeah, I think this could be another one. Because it's not as high profile, maybe people have slept on this one a little bit. But yeah, and big dudes as well. You know, they've sort of fought a bit low weight class. But I think after the lockdown stuff, which is the one thing that everyone sort of said to me, what the weight classes are the same. So I've been a bit lenient on weight classes. I've sort of done like, you know, 90. You know, normally we do under 70, under 80, you know, under 90, blah blah blah. I've sort of like been a bit lenient on some weight classes with people and said, you know, and let them do a video weigh in the night before instead of the same day. So I think they're both sitting about 88, 89 keys. So I just said, yeah, that'll do. So we'll crack it on.
And they're both gents as well. I enjoy this fight because they're both nice guys, and I think they'll both that'll sort of carry into the match a little bit. Not like they'll be nice to each other, but it'll just be one of them fun matches where they'll probably have a bit of a laugh in there.
Yeah, I think if it was the usual Grapple Fest in the usual venue, they'd be definitely having a beer afterwards. Definitely, yeah.
I think the interesting thing about this as well, like you said, like you touched on before, Tom, was the stylistically, like MMA guys from training with them, they roll very, very differently to like primarily jits players. Like they're difficult to turn over. They've got like unbelievable pressure just from the way that they've adapted the style.
Base is always solid, isn't it? They like to play on top. Obviously, bottom's not a great position in MMA, is it?
No.
But Ben likes to play on top as well. He's got a good guard. He's got really good. He's got a slip triangle underneath from the bottom in the last match. But he likes to play on top. He's got a great Darce sort of Peruvian sort of game. He plays that. But I've seen Lou get some nice subs. And in MMA, if you're submit people in MMA, that means your grappling is bang on, because when someone's punching in the face, when you're when you're sort of trying to get submissions, we know it works. You know, from our club, from ASW, it's it's very heavily MMA based. The grappling's very heavily based towards that, to making sure you're in dominant positions before you even go for submissions. So yeah, I just think it will match up well. Yeah, I can't see Lou pulling guard at all.
No, not at all.
But I think both of them will be quite happy either way it goes. Either way. I've seen Lou I've seen him in the IBGF comps. I've seen him over at the Euro No Gis in Rome. Seen him a couple of times. Been chatting with him in the bullpen and stuff. I think back when we were purple belts, maybe brown, something like that. And so he knows his way around jiu-jitsu. Definitely does.
Awesome. So next up we have Chris Walsh with the worst picture I've ever seen. Chris, why have you said that in?
I think he took that with the potato, mate.
Like a model.
Yeah,
Freddie looks like a model compared to Chris on this.
He sent me the picture through. He's one of them. He sent it through straight away. So he obviously had it done on his phone. Do you know what I mean? I was looking at it thinking, and I was actually having a chat with this guy who does all the designing, for the posters and all that sort of stuff. And he said, "Why do you guys just send the worst pictures ever? They're either right after training, we're just dripping with sweat and a rash guard pouring, or they're just these out of focus, terrible things." He said, "So what we're going to start doing is when we have the weigh-ins on the shows, people who've had on regularly, people like that, or what we're going to start doing with everyone is taking a portrait photo of them as well. So we've got a professional portrait photo for any posters in future, because a couple of these we were just laughing at the posters, and I'm just like, mate, just get it out there, just get it done. We're just going to have to do it this time."
we did the same with UKFC at the early ones. Then I started sorting out the graphics. I got a professional to create the base of it, but then I just do the overlays with the writing or whatever. I started making a green screen to UKFC, and even like the coaches that fight, the corner men, whoever thought that I thought we might have on the show, they were green screened, and it just made it better. And I got to a point where, say, Aaron or Steve or whoever I was working with would send photos in. I'll just go, "I'm not using it," but we need to release it tonight. I was like, "We'll get a better fucking photo then." It's not. Yeah. I am not releasing that. It's so hard sometimes trying to explain that that's a good photo.
And we're trying to get more and more professional every show we try to do. We've got like a media team on board us now. We're paying them to get our stuff done, highlight reels, all this sort of shit. And this is the next thing, is posters, because like all our graphics, everything's spot on. But like we're getting pictures sent in on a potato, and you're just like, oh shit. There's only so much photoshopping you can do, isn't there?
You've put it nail on the head there. Potato, like it's literally like some people still have camera phones that are potatoes. It's 2000. I know it's been a shit year, but you should have a decent phone.
I know. I just say go and stand behind a black or a white background and just get as clear a picture as you can. I mean, pretty much these days, your iPhone or your Samsung takes as good a picture as most digital cameras, doesn't it?
Have you noticed though, when you're saying that, go behind a white or a black background, it's like Chris here, he's got a white t-shirt. He'd be stood in front of a white background, which it's just
blending in.
Other people. I've had people wear, like, say, black top on a black background, and then it's like in a dim room, so it's like you can't even see anything anyway. Or they've got them rash guards on that, like, and they've got like the cage or the stuff behind it, the cages behind them. They're just
cage one's worse, isn't it?
Yeah, horrible. But to this match anyway. This is a great match. This is North versus South, really.
North versus South. Freddie's been on the show before. Yeah, it's Freddie's going back to the rules thing we were talking. He fought Charlie McDonald. Sort of had a real hard time. Charlie dominated him positionally, and he pulled a heel hook off with sort of like 30 seconds left in the match, something like that. So this highlighting the rules set. He's dangerous from sort of all areas. He's won the Europeans. I think it was at brown belt. in the IBJF. Chris is been a long-term submission grappler. Both recent black belts, not had the black belts that long. So, both game for this match, both up for it, both at the same weight. So we just thought, let's sort of throw this one in. Freddie was dying for a match. Chris was bang up for a match as well. So we thought, throw this. I think this one will play out pretty well. Chris is known. He's one of those guys, he comes out flying, he comes out really fast. Do you know what I mean? He's looking for his subs really fast. So I think if Freddie can weather that storm and we go into sort of the after 2 minutes sort of mark, it's going to be an interesting to see how this one plays out, I think. I think it'd be a good one. I
think knowing both of these guys, Freddie's very opinionated on, especially on the round, and Chris, knowing him personally as well, he can talk. So I would love to see. Do you know what? I might even get both of these on this podcast at the same time.
Mate, that'd be hilarious. It would be funny. It would be funny because they're both good dudes as well. They've both got really good sense of humour. They both love a good laugh.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So if you got them on, it'd be funny.
Simon, that's on the list. We get these on.
I'll have to get that one done there.
Get them on the week before. It'd be funny.
So after that one, we've got Chu and Yusuf Nabe.
This is what I'm looking forward to.
I've trained with both of these guys. I love this match.
Yeah. I was really pleased when we put this one together. Chu's recently got his black belt. Yusuf's been a black belt for a while. And when we put it together, they're both sort of masters too. So it's a real fair match. Both the same, both lighter guys, sitting around 75 kilos. Put it together. It's one of those, when you put it together and you go, that fits right, that one. I've not rolled with Yusuf, but I've known him a long time. I know his style. You know what I mean? I've seen him compete. I know Chu pretty well. I've rolled him quite a bit. So I just know it's one of those, as a promoter, you're going to go, that's going to be a good fight. That's a good fight. I'm pleased with that one. So I was happy when we put that one together.
So if you, based on the styles of stuff and you've probably seen them before, how do you sort of see this one playing out?
I'm not sure on the takedown, but Chu's not bad there. But I can see Chu trying to get his passing. He's got a real strong, heavy passing game. Going that. I think he's going to be trying to play that sort of game. So whether Yusuf's going to be confident in playing guard with him, because don't forget, going back in our rule set, sitting and battling for a takedown doesn't mean so much. There's no point, I think, in ours sometimes. My own personal plan, this 10 minutes thing is, if I couldn't get a takedown after 60, 90 seconds, I'd probably sit down myself, because it isn't worth all that effort to, standing up and getting really tired to get the match going. I'd rather get into the match straight away, which is why often some people, don't like it and they go, yeah, you put Scoon sitting down. But this is submission grappling. There isn't anything available for a takedown. So it'd be depending whether people want to go, yeah, well, I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to play my guard. I'm confident in my guard. I'm confident in, in what I've got. Confident. A lot of people like to play butterfly, enter the legs. Best place to enter from, I think, butterfly guard. With heel-ups being involved, I think that's why you've seen a lot of it on our show. So yeah, it depends who's going to want to do it, but I can't see Chu pulling guard. I'll be honest with you. But let's see how it goes. It's interesting.
I think though, with the conditioning, I think it's going to be quite a fast-paced match anyway.
They both put a pace on, don't they, when they compete? Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Next up, we have Ole and Michael D'Aguilar. That's how you pronounce it, D'Aguilar.
Yeah,
don't know much about so. Michael, so Simon, Tomo, you go through this one for me.
To be honest, I'm not too familiar with these two.
Ollie's been on Grapple Fest quite a few times. He started off. He actually, the first ever match we did, he fought Jack Fletcher from Neil's place. He was on the card as well.
I remember this one, actually, yeah.
They opened up the show, and it was a proper barn burner. Do you know what I mean? I didn't really know Ollie too well before that. Both recent, I think they were recent purple belts then when they got going. But he trained under Lloyd Cooper, and he's turned into one of the best little submission grapplers that the UK sort of getting. He's all over the world, goes all over the world, in Australia, America, sort of all over the show, going on big, training camps, training with a big team, Tenzos, Unity, Absolute MMA, going all over the place, saving his money up, disappearing, sort of, living like that. And he's got a really good game. I've seen him win some good stuff and do some good results. He's done well in the ADCC comps. He's done great on Grapple Fest. Got some good wins on Grapple Fest. So yeah, I think this one will be pretty good. Michael's MMA guy as well. Brown belt. He's fought some good shows. Making his Grapple Fest debut. He's been hounding me for a match for about a year now. And I knew what I knew off Facebook, that him and his coach lived together in their house, shared a house together. So because he got this house share, they've been training all the time. I seen pictures of him training. I thought, well, I know he's in shape. I know they're the same weight. I know he's pretty good. He's wanted a match. He was supposed to be on the Gordon Ryan card as well. So I went, okay, then, I think these two match up pretty well. So I think Ollie's got a bit of dieting to get down. I think Mike's sitting around sort of 67 k or something like that. Ollie's got to get his fat ass, put the fork down a little bit and lose a few pounds. So we might have to shave that pedo tash off. But yeah, I think it'll be a great match.
Nice. Next one's a great matchup. Ellis and Craig McIntosh. Ellis seems to have been competing and training since he was a kid. Like, he's been training for so long. Craig's a great matchup. Yeah. What? Like, how fun is this matchup?
Unbelievable matchup. Craig's been known as an MMA guy, hasn't he? Sort of before that, but he's really thrown himself into the submission grappling. He first got him on the show. I didn't know him too well, but he took a match against a guy called sort of Isaac Michel, an Australian guy who had trained with. He's like a young phenom. He's one of the Craig Jones's mates, and he's under Craig. But he's ended up moving moving back to sort of to move in with Dana, train at Henzo, and he's real talent. And his opponent pulled out. So Craig took the match sort of late notice, jumped in there. And I did warn him. I said, listen, this guy's supposed to be a young phenom, blah, blah, blah. And he was desperate to get on the show. And he gave him a great match, real good match. And so I was really impressed with him. I had a good chat with him, got to know him quite well sort of since then, speak to him a bit. And, real nice guy. But when he first started getting into the submission grappling, Ellis was one of his first opponents and he tapped him. And I think it was one of the last sort of times he's been tapped in a long time, you know what I mean? So he was chomping at the bit for this match. But Ellis, like you say, has been training forever. He's been going forever. Won the brown belt adult world no gi last December. That shows you how good he is.
Yeah.
He got it. He's had a couple of performances. He actually has lost on Grapple Fest before, but he's had some good wins as well. He managed to get a win over Chris Walsh in the last show. Fantastic grappler under Dara, who's coming over to corner Theon as well. So it made sense. He's in their team as well, get them all together. Yeah. Jumped at the match. And like I said, he's a real nice guy. He's come down to the stealth open mats a couple of times. So rolled himself there. He's a big, big talent. I've just got a feeling Craig's got massive motivation for this match. Ellis is a huge talent. This is another one we could just say, keep your eye on this one. It's going to be a proper smoker.
When I did the EGI card like February 2017, him and his teammate, Ellis's teammate Jordan, came over.
Jordan, yeah, Jordan's really good as well.
Literally, I knew of them, spoke to them a handful of times before that. They came over, obviously from the northeast of Manchester, really nice guys, and they were just so good. They were sort of, I think Jordan was the first match of the night, and then Ellis was sort of towards the latter end. They were so laid back, so relaxed, so good, and I now enjoy sort of following their careers, and especially Ellis, he's so good.
Yeah, I think all those East Coast guys seem to have that sort of like laid back style, don't they? With Dara, and you've got that thing. But yeah, we've had him and Jordan on, I think 3 or 4 times now, and I tell you what, they put on some great performances every single time. Big fans of theirs, honestly. They've got big careers, those two, I think.
Awesome. Definitely one to watch out for that match.
Next up is Lee just seems to have been in this sport for so long now. He's going against Edward Aitken. I'm not familiar with Edward. Maybe you can let us know a bit more about Edward.
Yeah, he's a brown belt, trains under Lloyd Cooper again, so he's representing sort of gripper jiu-jitsu. Okay, nice. He's been around a while. He's a big. He's been doing judo all his life since he was a kid. The judo black belt, so he's been around for quite a while. Not fought loads of submission only matches, but he's gaming. He's decent actually. I've seen him compete before. He's pretty good. Making his debut. Got a tough match with Lee, but he jumped at the opportunity. Like I said, this is one of those. Lee was hard to match. I'll be honest with you. This was the last match made on the card because Lee wanted on. He's wants to keep himself in shape. He's been lifting his weights and running around, doing all his kettlebells and all that. But he's dying to sort of get back to it. And you see in the poster, Lee looks sort of massive, doesn't he? And dead well built. And a couple of people were laughing at Edward's picture, but it was quite funny. But what you got to take into account is he's really, really tall. He's like about 6'6" or something like that. Wow. So that sort of explains the photo and it being an under 100 kilos match. But he was game and he said, "Yeah, I'm fit, I'm ready to go." He'd been doing bits and pieces as well. So yeah, he took the match straight away. But that was the last match to get because Jaddy's, like you said, he's hard to match because he's a purple belt. But Si knows him, he rolls him. He's not a purple belt, is he? No shape at
No
all.
chance.
At all. You know, he's sort of, you know, probably sort of, you know, brown, high, you know, very high brown black belt level, isn't he? You know, he's been around forever. You know, he's always known as a striker, as a boxer. You'll remember Jake going back in the early days. Me and Chad actually fought on an MMA show together in 2006. You know, that's how long he's been around, mate. That's 14 years ago. So you know, he's been around forever, but he's really difficult to match because you can't. I'd feel if I started throwing purple belts at him, people, you know, too much. He's had. I mean, he did have Rob Platt, who's maybe a brown belt now, but Rob Platt's been around a long time and he's really good as well. I've watched him with Naggers and ADCCs and stuff. He's really good. But he was, you know, pretty tough to match. But Edward jumped at it, mate, and you know, he was going to be on sort of the last show as well. So you know, a couple of the guys who were due to be on the last show, if they were fit, I sort of sounded them out, and they were like, you know, like I said, all of them were going, yeah, let's do it. Jumped at the match, took it straight away. So yeah, there we are. Another good one.
Definitely looking forward to, like, after rolling, like, Chaddy's probably one of the strongest people I've trained with.
Mate,
like, I remember once
when he got your head,
armbar on. Yeah, and he literally bicep curled me as his armbar defense, and I was like,
yeah, being there.
One thing I do love about Chaddy is he doesn't, obviously, he's signed with Bellator, he's a big name, he's been around this game a long time. He's so humble, he doesn't care how big or small the show is. Because when I was transitioning between Grapple Nation and Empire, sort of when there was sort of everything was up in the air with that, I brought back Sub North in All Powers in Stockport. And it was on, I think Simon, you were there as well. You did that.
I was in the same division, yeah.
Yeah, Chaddy was like, I'm on that. I went, dude, it's not like a big event, just a small in the gym thing. He's like, I need to keep active. Let's go.
Just wants to compete, mate. Just wants to keep active. Yeah, he loves it. He's been on Grapple Fest about 4 or 5 times now. He's had a couple of good wins. He's had some losses. He's fought some, you know, some top guys. You know what I mean?
He's not scared to
never
face anyone.
No, never shirked any challenge. He just said to me he did one and he had like a Bellator match about a month later, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And we and Darren was saying, and he goes, "It'll keep me active, keep me sharp." And he goes, "Anyone gets me iron, I'll just tap straight away. I'm not bothered. You know, I shouldn't be getting those positions." And he's got no ego like that. So don't get me wrong, he never wants to lose, but he's willing to test himself, which I think a few more of the MMA guys should do. I think it'll make him better to get in these, because you can do grappling comps, most of these grappling comps, rather than have this big adrenaline lead up to this huge fight once every sort of 4 months or something like that, every 6 months in, you know, in the top level, isn't it? So you might as well stay active and busy and do these sort of things. You know, there's Tom Breeze always throws himself in there. There's Chaddy. You know, there's a few of the guys. You know, we were. You know, I think a few more of them should do it.
Nice. I like this one. Then we've got, it's funny enough because every time Simon says, what guest should we get on? He always says, let's ask Chaddy and Mick Stanton. Literally, these are back-to-back on your card now. So we'll have to get them on now. Kieran Malone, MMA guy, Scottish, against Mick. This one can be very, very tasty. Both MMA guys. What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, let's talk about a picture of Stano walking home with his shopping bags in his hand. Probably talk about bad photos. We did have a giggle at that one. And Kieran, yeah, as you say, top wrestler. I think he's competed in the Commonwealth Games. I think he did for Scotland. The rest of them, I'm sure it was. Really good wrestler. They call him the Russian up there in the grip house.
Is that right?
I think he's known for his wrestling. He's known for his takedowns and his heavy top game. Stano came to AEW, what was it, a couple of years ago, was it now?
Yeah, I think about 2-3 years ago, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. And I remember him when he came, he was game as shit, but he just didn't understand positions and subs and things like that. And it wasn't like it was an easy role or anything like that. It was just you could catch him out with stuff because he wouldn't have seen things coming. Now when you roll him, he's an absolute fucking nightmare. He's been like a sponge at AEW. He's just listened to Darren, took everything on, and now his grappling is 100% changed. You know what I mean? He's a real tough role, real nice guy, real down to earth, and you know yourself, he's done really well in his MMA career. Yeah. So him and Kieran, I think it's a really intriguing matchup. You know, Mick had a good win on the show last time, and he fought on the show. Kieran was due to make his debut on the show. I think it was Grapple Fest 5, I think it was, maybe 4. Got injured, sort of got himself back sorted, back training. He jumped to that. He's mates with Craig McIntosh, so going to come down together. And I think a lot of people sort of sleeping. He hasn't done loads of grappling shows. I've seen him at some events, things I've seen him, doing some bits and pieces. known for his wrestling, known for his top game. Mick's got that style. But Mick can play off the bottom, can't he, as well? Which, you know, for MMA guy, he's got a good guard, hasn't he?
Look at his last match. Was it the one where his knee went out in the last round?
Knee went, knee went, and he's staying on the bottom. He's coming up with leg locks, wasn't he? All sorts, getting arm bars, all sorts of things. So yeah, good one.
Definitely, I agree with that. Obviously, he fought for the middleweight title in Cage Warriors last minute. Stano, he beat Junaid Ebanks, which was a great win because Junaid's huge compared to Stano of stepping up. So he's
I don't think Stano was meant to win that one, was he? You know, I think they were all thinking he'd be the favourite, wouldn't he? And he stepped in there and put it on him.
He definitely shocked me because, like you say, before he came to ASW, everyone sort of knew his name and sort of knew holes in his game, which you sort of could pick apart from looking the outside in. But it seems like all of them have sort of been plugged up now, and he's making a good run at it.
Yeah. Darren's, you know, said to me a few times he's like probably the most improved guy. You know, he's really, really doing well.
Yeah.
I think we've got two more to go over. Lucas DeSales, which I have no clue who this kid is, so I apologize to Lucas. Obviously, I know Tyrese. He's been on the podcast. I knew him. I followed him for years. I sort of support him through his journey. Who's Lucas? Talk us through Lucas.
He's a Brazilian kid who's been living over here for a while now with Mario's in Liverpool, Sucatas. He's really good. We've had him on the show before. Top win, really aggressive, sort of goes for it. You know, got a win on the show last time. One of those guys just loves a scrap. You know, really, you know, not quite skillful maybe as Tyrese. Tyrese's got all the skills in the world, but if Lucas's will can overpower Tyrese, you know, sometimes if you can get under pressure like that, it can be a tough night for people, can't it? Tyrese has got a lot of skill. Lucas has got the aggression, but he's got skills as well. Both he's a purple belt under Mario. You know, I think Tyrese is well. Maybe he's blue belt, I think, isn't he? But he's not in skill, is he? Because he's come through all the kids' ranks, hasn't he? He's been fantastic. Still a growing lad, isn't he? Coming through, but Lucas is quite young as well. So this will be exciting. You know, I think these will go for it because you know the lighter weights both moved up a weight class to like 77. There's normally the 70 kilo guys, so lockdown effect. Obviously, Tyrese is probably still growing, isn't he? To be fair,
yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting one of 77. I think to see how it plays out. But I was quite chuffed. It might be another one. You know, I know I've probably said it about loads of matches now, but it could be a little sleepy because I reckon they'll just go at 100 mile an hour straight away.
No, definitely. I think the difference with this, like looking at the two of them, I think the physicality between the two opponents might be a difference. But seeing
Tyrese is beefed up, hasn't he? So you know, he's put a bit of weight. Yeah, I think he put a post up on I think the Insta or Facebook team on, and he weighed himself. He's like 79 kg. And I remember him being like 60 kg. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, he's grown a bit in the last few years, hasn't he?
I went down to because Steve Henshaw's gym is not far from where I grew up, so I've known sort of his brothers and stuff. And I went down to his gym. This is like 4 or 5 years ago when Tyrese was probably 12 and he first started training. I had a bit of a roll with him. Obviously, I was a lot bigger than him then. Not so much right now, even though I'm a big guy now. Just seeing him grow and knowing him and his mum and stuff like that. And I trained with him a few times. I think it was early last year when I had a bit of free time. The kid's pounds. If he keeps in the trajectory that he's going, he could be one of the Britain's or European best easily.
Yeah, could be. He could be. I still think what he needs to just bring himself out of, which I think he's learning to do, is to not think on fighting his adults anymore. You know, he's 17, I think now. Is something's coming? He's got to start looking himself as a man and get that mentality. I know you get a bit more confident, don't you? The older you get, you've got to start bringing that to him. And if he gets his mentality right, I think shouldn't be anything to hold him back. To be fair.
Awesome. This is a great matchup. I'm going to enjoy this one.
Can't wait for that one.
And then it looks. I presume you're doing this in sort of reverse order. We've done it in main event down to the first.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, the main event. So, Jack Fletcher, Thomas Burrows opening up the show. Both been on the show before. Both bring it. Both fast paced. Both go for the sub. Real aggressive. That's why I put this one on to open the match, because I just know from the start these two are just going to go at it like a pair of dogs, mate. They'll just be flying at each other. So I thought I always like to put a nice little tasty one at the start, to get the crowd going. Yeah, so and they've never failed, to be honest. We've never really had a bad first match in all the shows we've done. So I just know this will be good.
Yeah, I think Jack does all my empires. He's so competitive. He constantly competes. Tom does a lot of mine as well. Obviously, this is Neil.
They've met before a few times in your comps. They were saying stuff like the Mets. So I think they've both got wins over each other. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be a tasty one. They've never met in this sort of format before, where they can just go for it. So yeah, it's tasty.
If I've got this right, sometimes my mind plays tricks on me, as Simon knows on this podcast. But this is Atkins versus Bebington. That's right, isn't it, gym wise?
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
That's one thing I'm probably looking forward to as well. Is they're both shouting in the corner because they're quite.
The size difference. I wasn't going to let anyone sort of know that that was one of the motivations of putting the match together. I'm not saying anything on that bit.
I do like this matchup a lot, and I'm glad that a lot more shows are doing this. And I know where you're coming from, this, Chris. Why you put this as the first match is because it sets the tone, it sets the pace. People know what they have to follow. Because you see a lot of shows where they put on just like an undercard. It's the first fight. We do it on UKFC a lot, where we put two young guys who are hungry as anything, and literally the commentators after one fight are just like, I've got no voice left, and it's like that's what we want. We want that pace all night. So
straight away, I put like black belt matches on the undercard, and people are like, why have you put them black belt matches on the undercard? And so we put these on there, and I'm like, because these two are just going to go. I want this fight. I don't want it to be split in half. I want all these fights to be good. Do you know what I mean? So some of the fights, I'll just chuck them in there. But again, for ones that opening the show, like yourself, I've always put a tasty one on to open the show. Even when we've had like kids on to open the show sometimes, I'll put a tasty one on, you know what I mean? I thought this will be really good because I want the crowd's attention straight away, especially on the pay-per-view and things. I don't want it to be slow and go, yeah, we'll wait, everyone's talking, we'll wait till the main event, this. I want everyone's glued to it. Yeah. So that's the theory in it.
I think looking at this card, I think that's going to be what's happening. Like, I know certainly I'm going to be glued to the screen anyway for it.
Yeah, I can't wait, really can't wait. I'm just chuffed to be back. I'm excited to be back. Really, I'm happy with the card. It was hard work. I had to cut it off at 12 because I get excited. And I was like, I could just make, like I said, I could have made 50 matches easily. But yeah, happy days.
So if you, obviously, we've talked about each match. Is there anything that sticks out to you that you feel like could be fighting out in your eyes? Obviously, you've got to try and be split down the middle, being the promoter. But is there anything one match that sticks out for you?
There isn't, not one. There's like 4 or 5. I mean, I'd like to say there was 12, but there's 4 or 5 there that I've got my eye on. But in the past, there's always been one that surprised me, and then ones that I thought would be really good. Sometimes they just stalemated a little bit because of, sometimes you've got to look at matchmaking then and go, probably a bit too good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or sometimes people are a little bit reluctant to let fire, especially, when the higher belts sometimes are a little bit like, because they know that one mistake, it can, even though it's sub only, that one mistake can be the end of the match because these guys are killers. But there's 4 or 5 on there I'm looking at that, are really tasty. I'm pleased with the whole card, and I'm just glad to be back out there, to be honest with you. Yeah, good stuff.
Amazing. Well, that's a great card that I'm looking forward to. I'm gutted that it's still 3 and a bit weeks away. It needs to come, but we are quite lucky at the minute. We've got a lot of UFCs and Submission Underground's on. I think it's on this weekend with their tournament, so there's a lot to do. But I think for the UK, I think we needed this. I think you'll be the first show MMA or jiu-jitsu.
First one.
Which, as a promoter, I'm jealous. I'm not the first one.
Yours is a bit different though, isn't it? Because you've got to have like 400 or 500 people, haven't you? Or competitors, let alone. So, we're having like 20 people in a room. So if you've got to have 400 or 500 and 600, you get loads in yours, don't you?
I'll just have a Royal Rumble of about 30 people and just survived at the end. Screw it.
You know what? I'd love to do that one day. It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
I'm looking forward to this because, like I say, it's the first UK European card back. I feel like it sets the tone. It gives the guys that we all know and love the chance just to compete. And it will. I think like we said in the Premier League, I think it will set the tone. And I think other events will come back and sort of follow suit of you, and then everything will start to get back to normal. And then maybe by, like you say, early September, you'll be able to have a crowd.
September, mate. I'm confident September. I think that's when we'll be back. Yeah.
So I would love to do this every time that you have an event, Chris, because the cards are amazing. You're a great guy to have on. Is there anything else you want to touch on? Any sponsors you want to shout out or anything like that?
Yeah, big shouts sort of at MVR Fightwear, our sponsors, and Safe and Sound UK, and Chill Logistics, who've been with us, for ages now, and have helped us out big time with everything. So they're still on board. They were happy with it, even though there was no spectators and stuff. They stayed with us. So yeah, thanks a lot to those guys. Just like yourself, sponsors are hard to come by in this game. So yeah.
Quick question: how hot is the sun on your back right now?
It's not too bad. I'm sat under my veranda, but my missus is sunbathing in the corner, and it's about 32, I think.
Simon, you probably got the same, but have you seen?
Yeah, that's why I nipped off before that. Shut the door because the rain was just. All I could hear was like that nipped off. Shut the patio door for it.
Literally, I just like turned and it started lightning. And I'm like, what the hell? It was bright. Go.
Very jealous of that, mate.
Well, dude, you've been amazing. Anything you want to add, Simon, or?
No, thank you. Like I said, looking forward to this show. And like I said, can't wait to sort of see some more grappling, especially within the UK scene.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, isn't it? Thanks for having me on, guys. Honestly, really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
4th of July, Flow Grappling. We'll put the link so everyone can sign up if they're not already signed up. I've got Flow Grappling already, so I'll be able to easily watch that. Some great matches. We'll be highlighting. Me and Tom spoke the other day. We're going to get a few of these guys on to interview. Like Sykes and Walsh have to get on simultaneously. Some tasty ones there. Yeah, thanks for your time, dude. Enjoy the sun.
Awesome.
Bastard. And we'll speak soon, dude. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, guys. See you later. Cheers.